Over the last 100 years or so, people have reported encountering mysterious creatures. Although the majority of these have been explained, there are some that are still shrouded in mystery. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 mysterious creatures. Sightings of the Zimbabwe merfolk. Unlike the cute animated portrayals of the mythical creature, the mermaids of Zimbabwe have been a recurring problem for those living nearby large waterways in the country, as the humanoid creatures have reportedly been at the centre of a variety of random attacks, terrifying vandalism, and delays in construction efforts. Back in 2012, while working on the Gokwe and Osbourne dams, the Zimbabwe construction company claimed that nearly every employee had left the construction site in fear for their lives after having been attacked by a strange humanoid river monster known as the Mamba Muntu. It was believed that the Mambu Muntu used the rivers as natural outlets to the ocean, and that they had become terribly angered by the construction efforts. Debates were made on whether or not construction should continue before a full report on the environmental impact was made. However, under pressure of contracts and health standards, construction continued regardless. This forced the local council to hire entirely new workers from out of the country to work on the dam, as the locals refused to continue working on the construction of the project due to their superstitions. Oddly enough, after several weeks, even the foreign workers resigned after claiming to have been attacked by humanoid sea creatures and regarded the entire river as being cursed. In an effort to appease these strange creatures, the council was forced to perform cleansing rituals and make offerings to the creatures before construction began again with no further issues. Although most do not make the connection, Zambia, the closest country to Zimbabwe, built the Kariba Dam in the same waterways within their borders. The project was determined to be a necessity in the region, as the water from the river would not only be able to power all of the electrical requirements for that region, but it would also prove to be a major work program that would allow a number of locals to generate income while working on the projects to be used to help spur the local economy of the region. Unfortunately, many of the religious figures already suffering under the oppressive hand of the government felt that the construction of the dam was a violation of the principles of their god, known as Nyaminyami. Nyaminyami was, more specifically, the god of the river Zambezi, and was believed to reside within the river. Religious figures argued that if the dam was built, then Nyaminyami would curse them for messing with the natural ecosystem and bring on a terrible tragedy, urging the locals to defy the government and refuse construction. Despite this sentiment from the religious leaders, many of the locals would still go on to work on the construction of the dam, assisting in the government's tactic to force the native Batonga people to move from their homes and live elsewhere. Almost as if directly predicted by the religious leaders, shortly after the Batonga people were moved, a devastating flood tore through the region, and due to the half construction of the dam blocking the only direction for water to flow, it led to the entire dam becoming destroyed, killing every single worker that was working on the construction of the project. Oddly enough, however, not a single body has been recovered. Given the fact that the majority of those who died were locals, this led to many of the relatives begging the religious leaders to help lift the curse and allow the dam to be constructed without any future problems. Religious leaders then gave instructions to the people for the only way that the curse would be lifted. They must sacrifice a calf and offer it to the river. For some inexplicable reason, after the ceremony was completed, the bodies of the workers appeared where the calf was placed in the river, allowing the souls to finally be put to rest. The Freiburg Shrieker. Referred to as the Freiburg Shrieker, a strange encounter with a subterranean creature has left many wondering if the possible sighting is related to that of other creatures and an impending disaster. The creature was spotted by more than 21 different individuals, of whom worked as miners at an old mine located in the town of Freiburg, Germany. On the 10th of September, back in 1978, these miners were going about their day as usual. They were the first group of miners to enter the mine every morning and work their shifts until late that evening, a schedule that was rather routine by this point in time. Though they would work these mines every single day and had worked this very same mine only the day prior, there would be a strange creature inhabiting the area near the entrance of the tunnel that they would all claim to have seen. The creature was described as being a tall, dark figure with large wings on its back. standing at the entrance to the mine. After all the miners stared at the creature for a while, frightened by its appearance, the creature opened up its wings and let out a piercing sound. Some described the sound as being like 50 people screaming, whereas others claimed it more closely resembled the sound generated by a train in peril trying to brake at the sight of a twisted rail. The creature then went deeper inside the mine and could not be seen by the miners. After this encounter, the workers decided that they would delay mining for a few more hours by working on outside jobs before entering the mine, as they were attempting to calm themselves while trying to figure out what had just occurred. As they were working, a loud explosion occurred within the mine itself, causing a collapse of certain chambers and closing off areas of the mine that would later be excavated to continue work. This has led many to believe that the creature could have been that of the Mothman, given the description of the creature, and that its actions were to prevent a tragedy from occurring by saving the lives of the miners. Despite this, the majority of the workers would go on to suffer from self-proclaimed mental issues, recurring nightmares, and visions. Additionally, 6 of the miners would eventually have been found dead in their sleep, having perished suddenly with no real explanation. The Churro of India. Southeast Asia may not be the first place your mind wanders to when you think of hauntings. However, Asia is rich in fascinating culture and tradition, and from this comes some interesting ghost stories. You'd be forgiven for not knowing what the subject of our next story is. It's prominent in India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, and is a demonic, malevolent force taking the form of a woman. It's called a churro. The churro is described as the ghost of an impurified living thing, and is also known as the tree spirit as she tends to latch onto trees in the jungles of Asia. She allegedly takes the form of a beautiful woman, luring men she wants to revenge on into the woods only to take their lives or to take their vitality. The latter turns the men into much older beings. Churros are thought to come from women who have experienced an unnatural loss of life. This is often during pregnancy or childbirth, or from suffering at the hands of her in-laws. Often, churros will haunt the men of a certain family, as the spirit of the mistreated woman is related to them. The legend is thought to come from Persia, now Iran, where the churro forms from women who have lived an unsatisfactory life, or who have unfulfilled desires. Once appearing to men, again often in a jungle, the mountains, or other remote places, she removes her cloak of beauty to reveal a monstrous, gnarled appearance. The true form of the churro is a woman with a disfigured appearance. Depending on the country from which the legend originates, churros can have black tongues, no mouth at all, a face to resemble a pig, claw-like hands, and fangs. This is far from the stunning appearance of a young woman dressed all in white that the churro allegedly shapeshifts to. According to Asian folklore, one can prevent the creation of a churro by either preventing its creation by treating a woman well during pregnancy, or by performing a series of rituals upon the body once they have passed away. In some parts of Asia, the ground where the woman passed away is purified or dug up and treated with mustard, which keeps the churro content. The failure to do this leaves the churro roaming the graveyards, battlefields, mountains, and jungles of India and other South Asian countries. But what do you make of these 3 strange creatures? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.